Here we go.
Turn the camera.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the call. It is 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and that means it's time to go. We are ready for our 90-day business launch call. We have some amazing guest trainers with us this morning, so I can't wait for you to hear from them. But before we get to that, I want to do a little bit of recognition because I love talking about recognition, recognizing those who are succeeding. Before we do so, I always do this at the beginning of calls because I want to make sure of a couple of things. I want to make sure we interact with each other. So please feel free to use the chat. I can see people on here. We've got people from Virginia, California, Ohio, Manitoba, San Diego, Hawaii, people from all over the place joining in on the call. I love to see the interaction that we have on the chat. I want to remind you, I do this every call. If you look at your chat and it says all panelists, make sure to change that to all panelists and attendees. That way, the attendees can see you as well, because if it's panelists, I can see you and our guest trainers can see what you're posting, but nobody else can. So make sure to change it to all panelists and attendees. Then we can all chat. We can all be on here together. Tons of people coming in right now. Thank you so much. We're so excited to have everybody on this call, on this webinar. It's going to be awesome today. I can't wait for this training. Now, before we get to the training, I want to recognize some of our Drive with 5 teams. The Drive with 5 has been absolutely incredible so far. It's such a tight competition. We have, remember, all the way through June, and then we also have July. So we have, about 7 weeks left in this competition. And like I said, the competition is tight. What I want to do right now is I want to recognize some of our teams in the top 30. And remember, this is a global competition. So this is top 30 in the world. In all 60 plus countries that we are currently in, these teams from the United States or Canada or French Polynesia, they are in the top 30 teams in the world. So let's start with the first team that we have here, BTT, led by Kahan Boleli. These guys are absolutely crushing it. They are towards the very top of that list. They're in the top 10. Also in the top 10, we have the Freedom Warriors, led by our trainers today. So they led by Mandy and Sami Eskelin. The Freedom Warriors are also in the top 10, making a big push for this Drive with 5. Next, we have Tsunami Latino, led by Claudia Macero and Brady Valdez. These guys won it last time, so watch out for them. They won the last Drive with 5. They are in the top 15. Next, we have Dust to Diamonds. That's led by Mrs. Tiffany Davis. Congratulations to Dust to Diamonds. The Hustlin' Honeys, I love these names, by the way. The Hustlin' Honeys, led by Adrian Knoll out of Boston. Congratulations to you guys. Team Triumph, led by Saran Kong and Shani Benishai. Congratulations to that team. Hope on Fire, led by Mrs. Kayleen Andrew. Congratulations to you as well. Cleopatra's coming at you. Again, the names are great. Cleopatra's coming at you, led by Crystal Milburn. And lastly, Cash Salad, led by Raisha Canup. So those are the top 30. Now, if you're not in the top 30, that's okay, because we have lots of time left. So make sure to get your team together. Make sure to communicate often, communicate frequently. The consistent theme I hear from these top teams is they are in constant communication with their team, knowing what each other's doing, holding each other accountable. It's huge for this competition. So that being said, we're going to get into the call. I want to let you know, hang on after we hear from these amazing trainers, because we have one more surprise for you at the end of the call. But the most important piece of this call is the training that we're about to receive. And I'm so happy to have these trainers on with us. These are brand new diamonds, just reached diamond in the month of May. And I want to tell you a little bit about them, as I was asking them about their background and finding more information about them, their stuff that I didn't even know. So it's fun to see where everyone comes from and get the different backgrounds of the individuals that we have on these calls. So Mandy and Sami Eskelin, I want to start with Sami. Sami spent 11 years in the Finnish military. And after that, he became a fitness coach for celebrities for 20 years. He has a degree in exercise science and a degree in nutrition. So if you need to know anything about exercise or nutrition, that's your guy. And then Mandy, she's a mom of two. She's a holistic nutrition coach. She's a retired celebrity trainer as well. And she was a fitness pro for 8 years. She placed third place in the world in those competitions. So these guys know what they're talking about, and we're so excited to have them with Kyani. They've only been with us a short time, but they've made a huge splash. So I want to welcome to the call our guest trainers, Diamonds, Mandy and Sami Eskelin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Steffensen. This is so exciting, and it's truly an honor for us to be here with so many people, not just our team, but with all throughout Kyani and around the world. So it's really an honor for us. And a little background about us: up until about, 3 years ago, we were trainers in the gym. We traded time for dollars, 8 to 10 hours a day, training clients in the gym and seeing each other in passing. And my husband had a job at night where, he didn't get home until midnight, 1 a.m. every night. And while he was at work, I was home writing out meal plans for all of our in-person clients as well as online. And we hardly got to see each other.
Yeah, we actually at that point we started looking at different ways how we can change the current situation. And obviously we explored those conventional models first. We were actually planning to open up a big training facility because that's what we've been taught. Like, you're going to become a business owner and you go into massive amount of debt, and opening up our own supplement lines. And we explored all the options, but luckily that didn't happen. So we found this industry and absolutely fell in love with it. And it's been a huge blessing for us for the past 3 years.
Yes, and we were with a previous company that did turn us to love network marketing. I mean, the company that we're with, we were able to get hundreds of people healthy all over the world, which we're very grateful for. We had brought in over 200 people in those 2 years, but the pain points were, that we weren't able to pay ourselves. I mean, really, it was a struggle. And then to get other people paid, to get our people paid, it was really challenging. However, in that time, we were able to retire him from his night job, retire ourselves from working in the gym all the time. So that was one of the greatest gifts that we received there. However, like I mentioned, it just wasn't, we weren't able to get our people paid.
And actually, that whole story, it plays a huge part in our business right now, because we literally share that story, because it's all about storytelling and making yourself relatable. And that's what we use, all of that information we just share with you to talk to people, to educate people what we went through and what we found out right now.
Yes, and 8 months ago, we made a massive shift, and we became part of Kyani, thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Thornhill. We met them, we saw them, we watched what they were doing, and we saw them create other successful leaders. And we're like, gosh, we want to know what you're doing. Like, we never thought about leaving the other company, but obviously what you're doing is duplicating. So would you please share more with us? And finally, not only did we fall in love with them and who they are as people and became friends with them, but really about what they were doing for others. And 8 months ago, we decided to make a huge leap, start completely from scratch with Kyani and Mr. Travis Garza, and this entire company. And we couldn't be happier. And I try not to cry.
And she cries a lot, but it's all, luckily it's all now happy tears.
But even, us getting to Diamond, we put the blinders on, and for us it was like, okay, I see the system. I'm completely open, coachable. Tell me what to do. And we went running, and we ran so hard for 8 months. I don't think we took a day off. Now, that's not typical. I really want to make sure that we say that is not typical, the way that we did this. But for us, it was really about pouring everything in and building such a solid foundation. So for us to hit Diamond was really because of the team that we built. I mean, we focused on getting them rank advanced. We focused on supporting them. And going into like our training today, we were doing a lot of in-home presentations. We were doing lunchtime and dinner when we first started. And by the way, we're out here in Vegas. So we said, let's go. And we did. And luckily we had the Thornhills with us, which is absolutely, priceless. But when this whole pandemic happened, we had a choice. We could buy into the whole thing that nobody has money, or people aren't going to get into a business or any of that. We said we don't have any choice but to go on all online. Like, there's no other option. We're going to make this work, and we're not going to buy into that limiting mindset that the world's falling apart, and that people aren't buying anything. And
yeah, it's obviously, I can still actually see in my head that we literally came into this crossing where we had to choose, like, which route we're gonna take, and we purposely decided to take the route like, no, we're gonna adapt and overcome. That's it. We're gonna go and use the tools, network, and support we have available, and we're gonna make this happen. And we're gonna show people that no, you can absolutely build business even though it's a very unconventional situation globally.
Yeah. And we said, all right, we were already doing some online stuff because we have a team building in New Zealand, as well as Australia and other parts of the US and the UK. But for us, it was like, all right, well, if we can't have in person, we're going to strategize and figure out something. So that's what we want to show you guys, is how we've not only doubled, probably more than doubled our business in the last 2.5 months during this whole pandemic. And I'm not talking the dollars, I'm talking about the team wise. I'm talking about, getting our team winning, because what are the two things that people want the most? They want better health and boost their immune system when this whole pandemic started. And they wanted to figure out, how do I make money from home? Because I don't know when this whole thing is going to end. So we knew those were the two biggest pain points. So when we decided to go all online, well, without any other option, right? We knew that that was going to be the pain points that we were going to hit, and really help people see the vision of what's possible, with this system and being able to build a business online.
Yeah, and just to add maybe, excuse me, just to add maybe on top of that, money and health side, is that people are also looking hope. It was a very interesting times, and a lot of people were basically rug pulled away from underneath them. And so people were constantly like, I don't know what's going to happen. So us providing that hope and that confidence that people can actually jump on board and relate with, it was a huge thing. And that's, we're so happy that we were in a situation that we were able to offer that.
Yes, and thank goodness to, Mr. Sarang Kong, Mr. Brandon Thornhill, Ms. Julia Thornhill, and so many of the other leaders that really helped us figure this out, because obviously all of us, and other people depend on us. How can we give hope to other people around the world during all of this mess? So I'm going to share screen, and we made a few notes, nothing formal, but we just want to give you guys a little bit of, this is one of the slides that we start ours with. I mean, I know Mr. Skyleur Steffensen did an amazing job with introducing us. So I'll just go past that. But some of the presenting tips. Now, one of the things we learned or experienced during the launch process that really helped not only us, but our team, was during that launch process, we got very clear on setting up a grand opening. And by doing that, we kept it more intimate. So it wasn't just inviting to a big team overview. We wanted to have them invite to something that was smaller and more intimate. So we would work through their list of the VIP guests, and even into their, top 20, but setting up that grand opening and what that looked like for them, that it was going to be an intimate overview and more personal, and that they could just bring their VIPs, really.
Yeah, and we still kept those team-wide big presentations were a huge help for us, because it allowed us to have a fallback presentation immediately if we couldn't get guests committing to those times or grand opening times. So the grand opening is actually allowing us to do a few different things. First of all, like Mandy said, it's a smaller, intimate group, so it communicates more exclusivity. So it's not as generic as signing up to a presentation where a complete stranger is maybe presenting the information. But also, this allowed us to have a better grasp on the guest. So that means that whether it's us or someone else who was presenting was able to kind of adapt that tonality and pace during the presentation and have it geared more towards the guest personalities.
Yeah, it definitely makes it more intimate, more relatable, because we don't want to come across that, oh, we're these big successful people and I've done this and this and this in our lives. Like, we want to make it relatable to people, like we're just like everyone else, because then that's where people's guards come down and they're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, these aren't someone that's just trying to sell us, these are real people that have had real struggles in life. And I think that's something that's really worked for us, is not coming out and saying, oh yeah, we're all these things and we've made this much. No, like, we've had the same pain points, trading time for dollars. I mean, that's a big part of when we go into telling our story. But we also have the new partner not only send out confirmation messages, but when it does start, we set them up to welcome their guests, with excitement. Like, hey, I'm so excited. You guys were hand selected to be here. You're the first ones that I'm showing this new project to. And I can't wait to, introduce you to our business partners. And, whether it was myself or, Sami or some of our other leaders on our team, really introducing them in a way that's relatable. And then people like, okay, hold on, I'm not like being sold. So then they let their guard down. They're open to receiving the information. And right.
Yeah. So, excuse me, there's always what we want to break it down. There's 3 parts for a successful presentation. There's the invitation part. Invitation is a huge part. That means that you're locking in those people on that presentation. And we always say, hey, when you invite someone into a presentation or see the information, you're going to have 3 different parts on it. You're going to have exclusivity, excitement, and urgency. If you're able to add all those in the invitation, people they're going to be more likely to be part of this. Like, yes, I absolutely want to see this, because excitement is contagious.
Yeah. And let's re-edify that. It's all part of the system. We're only following the system that's already here for us, by clearing their schedule. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow at blank time? Then using one of the peak messages from the app, which is absolutely incredible to have. And we show our people how to do that during the launch process. But really using the system. We're not making up anything new. We're following the system, and we're showing our people how to follow the system, because I believe that's what duplicates. Remember, we're not duplicatable. And that's where we, I think it was hindering us in the previous company, amongst other reasons, but not being the experts. Like, we're just like you, and we're going to pique their interest, follow the system. We're showing our team exactly how to follow the system the same exact way.
Yeah, so the big part of it is the edification. So obviously, I want to kind of expand on that a little bit. Edification is huge. So obviously, we always want to use Mr. and Mrs. because it just adds another level of professionalism. But when the presenter is being edified, obviously, you want to always bring it back into their level and look. It's like, hey, yes, because like Mandy said, we don't want to be these untouchable people that have million dollar previous incomes and degrees and experience and stuff like that, because people start thinking like, well, he's special or she's special. Like, of course she or he is successful because they have all that in the background. So we always edify ourselves like, yes, we're done very well, but I'm not special at all. I'm just using a special system, and that's the sole reason why I'm sitting here and have some success. So
Edifying that,
yeah. So edifying the system, because people don't duplicate, systems do.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next one. So some of the key points that we wanted to touch on today, not only telling your story. So telling the story, just like when we started here today, we shared the pain points, because pain is what's relatable to people. Pain, not like, oh yes, I've done this and I'm this. Like, no, that's not relatable to people. People are suffering right now, whether it's physically or financial or even mentally. People are suffering in the world. We want to relate to them. Being relatable is so important, but hitting on those pain points when you tell the story. And I know there's great trainings that we already have on how to, tell your story, but hitting the pain point of your own story after you've been edified, then what changed, and now what you're excited about. So think about like a roller coaster ride, right? You go, uh-oh, what's happening now? Those pain points, and then things shift, right? Things shift and our lives change. Now, what are we most excited about, right? That ride that's getting ready to take place. But then we go into the actual presentation at that point.
Yeah, actually, there's one of our mentors, Eric Worre. He actually has a very good exercise where you're telling your story, and he always says that you gotta always emphasize on the pain. Like, take it to as low as possible. Like, you can literally, so no matter what point people are in their lives, they understand, like, yes, this person knows exactly what I'm going through right now because I'm looking for something else. I'm in a very bad situation. And what I hear is this person has gone through those same things. And then you're just going to bring it up. What I found out, and like Mandy said, what I'm most excited about in the future. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And being humble and relatable, I mean, that all kind of comes in with the pain points. The other reason about knowing the guest background prior to that grand opening is now we can touch on some of their pain points, right? Like, let's say it's a mom of 3 who works full time. Well, I already know, then I can tailor my story just at the very beginning and stories in the presentation to touch on those pain points. Like, I'm a mom, you know, I missed out on a lot with my kids, you know, being a single mom at one point in my life for many years, you know, and being able to relate to that guest that doesn't even know that I know that about her. That's where people are like, oh, wow, she's really gone through those same things. So this is why it's really important to have the new business partner give us the names and background of the guests, because we can tailor that to them. We can tailor the stories to those guests on there and make it even more relatable to people.
Yeah, and the next one is the simplicity of our system and products. We always say that, hey, there's a lot of products in the market. There's a lot of ways to try to get people healthy, but often they are just so confusing and overwhelming. And what we love about this is because it's simple. Whether you want to use the products, there's 5 very simple products. Or if you want to create some income, the system is very simple.
I want to add I'm going to add a couple of things that I like to mention during that. Now, do I have a nutrition background? Yes. Does everybody else? No. But some of the things that I like to add on the new slide deck, which I absolutely love, when we're talking about, you know, our food contains 84% less vitamins and minerals, you know, that are nutrients really than years before. I also like to add in, like, our food is nutritionally bankrupt. Now, you can add that in because it's the truth. You don't have to have my certification or Sami's to, you know, to mention that our food is nutritionally bankrupt. And what happens when we lack those important micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, antioxidants, our bodies become stressed. And we know there's already enough stress out there. We don't need to internally be stressed, because that internal stress is what causes disease. So we have something that is so simple in our products, and you know, we fill in those nutritional gaps. We fill in those nutritional gaps that we can't get from food. And then the body does what the body is meant to do.
Yeah, we always say, like, hey, if we can give you something that's very simple, affordable, that means that it's going to be sustainable. If something is sustainable, you can also get results of it, because we're looking for a long term, not something that you can do for a month and then step away from it because whether you got some results or you didn't get any results. We're here to make a change in your overall lifestyle.
Yes, because confused people do nothing. And if it's overcomplicated, people are like, all right, well, maybe this will work for a week, but I can't stick to it long term. And that's the beauty of Kyani, is that we have something that's sustainable. We have something that's so simple. By people adding this in, they're getting incredible results, and that makes it sustainable long term. And that's what we want. We're a wellness company. So those are just some of the key points that, like, I like to add into you know, to the product, you know, the nutrition part of the presentation. Oh, and that it's bioavailable to our body. Our body absorbs up to 98% of it versus taking a whole handful of like tablets and stuff. So those are just some key points. What are some other ones that you like to add on the nutrition side?
Well, first of all, it's like 3 simple products, one in the morning, one in the evening, and the night show 3 times a day. So like, how simple is that? Can we all agree that we can do that? And obviously, we say that the best thing is that you don't have to change your eating habits. Now, I want to expand to that. Obviously, we are huge advocates for healthy lifestyle, exercising and eating healthy beyond just the products, but you can get benefits already by just adding these simple products in your lives. Now, that's something that people are, so I don't have to change any of my meals to a shakes or do any crazy cleanses or anything like that, because so like I'm just gonna use the products and that's it.
Which does have its benefits, but again, that's not sustainable long term. I mean, people want to eat food. We understand that we work with cultures all over. I'm from the South. I get it. We work with the Hawaiians and the Samoans. Like, we get it. They don't want to change their eating habits. You know, that they really want to enjoy their food. But now when we add this incredibly simple nutrition in and fill in those nutritional gaps, we're actually able to they're going to be able to get some benefits from that. So on to the part about the business, right? I love this. I took this and borrowed it from Mr. Sarang Kong, but when we're talking about building an app, building a business from online, an app-based business, I kind of make the joke that, all you need is a big Y and a Wi-Fi, right? Because we need Wi-Fi for the app to work. But I like that because I like to be fun and not so rigid in a presentation. I want to make them laugh. I want to, have fun with it and bring out your own personality. That's one of the things, that I recommend the most. Yes, read the slides, but always add a little bit of you, in the South, we call it lanyap. That's like means a little extra, but always add a little bit of extra, a little bit of you, sprinkle that on there. And so I'll make a funny joke like Mr. Sarang Kong does. So, but we really edify how this is a copy, paste, and send system. We show them, like, not necessarily during the presentation, but on the slide, how they just copy, paste, and send those videos. And we have them already done for you. Obviously, our system is the done for you system. Anything else on this, baby?
No. Just we always say that, hey, you don't have to be an expert because you work with the expert. You have the experts around you that are there to help. So you're just curating the content.
So on closing, one of the things that I like to add is before I go into that ABC slide, if they're all in budget questions or customer, or I like to add, and really come from the heart here, and get real with them, because wordy touch the heart. We gave information about everything, but I want to come back to the heart, because I believe that's where we get people. We really touch them, and I say, like, if not now, when? And if not you, then who? And if not this, then what? Because the truth is, we don't know how long this pandemic is going to last. We don't know when this, or if this is going to happen again, but why not have something that creates residual income, that you can spend time with your family, that you can have the freedom of choice, whether, you need to go back to work 40 hours a week, or if you can just continue to do this from home. Really think about that for a second. And then we'll go into that, ABC slide.
Yeah. And we want to open up the Q&A at the very end. And that's something that actually let's get back a step a little bit. So obviously we don't want to mention anything about COVID or pandemic, because that's not what we do. We wouldn't be in compliance anyway, so we want to stay away from that as much as possible. But we just want to say, like, hey, life gets crazy and you never know what happens tomorrow. And say, hey, it's been a very good example in the past few months in the world. People who thought that their jobs were so secure were basically just, they lost their jobs. Las Vegas, 250,000 people went unemployed overnight. And most of them were working in the service industry. And who would ever think that Las Vegas would get closed? No one. But it happened. So we're just going to say, hey, as much as we like that like to think that this is the last of it, but why? Like, are you willing to really bet on it? Are you really bet on your family's financial well-being and say that something like that will never happen? Now, obviously, I don't want to sell with scarcity anything, but I do want to put things into perspective.
Absolutely. That's a great point. So then after the ABC slide at the very end, are you A, all in, B, budget questions, C, want to become a customer, kind of breeze through those things. But then we say, listen, we're going to open it up to questions. And for all you A's, raise your hand. Let's get you going. Let's be excited about what the future has in store for you and what we're going to be able to help you create. Because then we stop share. We go into question and answer, and we're looking for those people who are like really engaged and writing notes, or they'll have, some people do actually have their hands up when we say that. Not, they're like, okay, I'm ready to go. Then we'll say, go ahead and get with the person that invited you here. We can get you started, and we're going to set up your launch process, you know, and expand on that. Then we start the conversation, or we might, if no one's asking questions, we might call out, well, hi, Elizabeth. I'm so glad that you were here today. I know that, you know, our partner Crystal mentioned so much about you. So now they're like, oh, wow, you know? So by having those backgrounds, I think that makes it really important. You know, what did you like best, Elizabeth? You know, what resonated the most with you? Because I want to connect with them while we have their attention, because we know that the excitement goes down as soon as they hang up that Zoom. But if we can keep them engaged and keep them engaged and talking to them and connecting with them.
Yeah, and also we always say, hey, I hope that all makes sense. If nobody responds to anything, obviously we don't want to have that awkward silence over there. So we're just going to make a joke like, hey, I guess we make perfect sense because there's no questions. But then we also, we want to have awareness of what's going on in a room. So like Mandy said, people who are taking notes, people who are just smiling over there, those are the ones that you're gonna start to have a conversation with, because that excitement is contagious as well. So you want to have it, you want to have a positive note at the very end, and not that awkward silence that nobody's really talking anything.
Yeah, and remember that, hold on, I don't want to say it backwards, but motion creates emotion, right? And I hope I said that right. But when people are moving and paying attention, that gets other people excited, and it's contagious, like Sami mentioned. So we just try to answer their questions. We try to also limit it. We don't want to ask a whole bunch. Now, if someone is asking something negative or saying something negative about it, you know, Ms. Tracy Peterson shared this with us. She kind of politely, without, you know, oh, okay, great, thank you, and she'll remove them. She'll remove, I think that's the best thing. She'll remove them so that because that's also contagious if someone's negative. Oh, you know what? Their Wi-Fi must have cut off. Sorry, you know, like that sort of thing. I know it's kind of funny, but it really is true. And then we really hone in on connecting with them, setting up a follow-up right there. Great, Elizabeth, you know what? We're going to go ahead and have Crystal connect us in a Facebook Messenger chat where we can drop that information in. And then when would you like us to follow up with you? Because we're booking a meeting from a meeting right there, booking that next meeting, and then going, you know, making sure that there's a follow-up time set. And then we go ahead and get them started. Also, if they're ready to get going, as soon as that ends, we'll jump on a call. Maybe some people don't want to ask the questions publicly, so we'll jump on a three-way call with the new partner and that prospect.
Yeah, so even, and I love this because Mr. Travis Garza has shared himself that the fortune is in the setup, but it's also in the follow-up. So I love that. So follow-up is the key thing. You have to vigorously, you have to follow up, because sometimes people take some time to process that. So we don't want to let anyone fall into our cracks by not doing our part, which means following up with them.
Yeah. And yeah, the follow-up is everything. So that's really all we have. I know that people are starting to do in-home presentations. We're going to do one this week. We're excited to bring the community back in person, but we also know that really showing people how this can be done online and in the pockets of their time is really a key. So I hope that you guys got some nuggets from this. I mean, we're very excited and honored, honestly, to be part of this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that back over to Mr. Skyleur. And thank you all again. We absolutely love Kyani, and we live Kyani.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much. I love the training. I took a lot of notes myself. One of my favorite parts was that you get all the guest information beforehand, and then you even reference them, if they're asking a question, and you know everything about them. I think that's such a valuable tip for people to realize that if you treat them like you know them, it makes a huge world of difference. So I love the training. I appreciate you guys so much. Those on the call, if you love the training, put in a 1 in the chat group. Let Mandy and Sami know that you appreciate them, that you love the training that they provided, because I thought it was extremely valuable. So thank you so much again, Mandy and Sami. Now, if you're paying attention and you've watched what we've done these last 4 weeks, we're setting things up in a structure. We're going step by step. So you heard for the first week, it was Kinley and Andres Mendoza, and they were talking about your why and how important your why is. And we were sharing vision boards. And then we went into Maria Asensio, and Mrs. Maria Asensio talked about building belief and how you have to believe in yourself in order to make sure that you're successful with this business. And then we went to Mr. Steve Pineda, and Steve Pineda talked about building your contact list and keeping an everlasting contact list. And now we're talking about presenting with Mandy and Sami. We're building this up so that you know every step of the way, the tips and the tricks from our top leaders on what they do to be successful in each step of the way. And we're going to continue doing that through the month of August, this 90-day business launch. You can absolutely change your business if you take some of these tips. And maybe not everything is going to fit into the way that you do it, but you can take 1 or 2 things from every single one of these calls, and you can say, I can do that. I can implement that. And I hope that that's the way that you're approaching these calls, is you're looking for these little things that you can do in your business to get a little bit better every single day, because by the end of 90 days, your business really can change. Now, at the beginning of these calls, when we started this series, we said that once in a while we would have challenge weeks, right? And I want to announce that this week is a challenge week. And many of you are saying, that's great. What does that mean? Well, here's what it means. We are putting out a challenge, and we're offering up prizes to those who earn the challenge. So I have in front of me, I don't know if you guys can see this, these are brand new AirPods Pro. And I have 1, I have 2, I have 3 AirPods Pro, and we're giving away free convention tickets. So here's what we're doing. It's all about Drive with 5. Drive with 5 is so important, and we want to make sure that you are driving your momentum in your business through this contest. So what we're going to do is, from today through Tuesday of next week, since we'll announce it on Wednesday of next week, we're looking for the top 3 teams, the top 3 Drive with 5 teams who produce the most points from today through next Tuesday. And each member of the top 3 teams, so we're going to choose 3 teams who are the top producing teams in the week. Each member is going to get a free convention ticket to the upcoming convention with the gala, so you get access to everything. If you've already bought your ticket, we'll reimburse it for you, but you will get a free convention ticket to the next convention. Each member of the top 3 Drive with 5 teams who have the most points in the week. So that's number 1. But number 2, we talked about these, right? How do you earn these? The top 3 individual point earners in the Drive with 5 in Canada, US, French Polynesia, the top 3 point earners from today through next Tuesday on the Drive with 5, we're going to send brand new AirPods Pro. Okay? Does everyone have that? Let me say it one more time. Top 3 Drive with 5 teams from today through Tuesday, you're going to get free convention tickets, every team member. Top 3 individuals, whether you're on a winning team or not, what top 3 individual point earners are going to get brand new AirPods Pro. So go out there and get it. Go after these. We want you to win these. We're so excited to announce it next week. Again, you don't know when these challenge weeks are coming, And once in a while, we are going to do these challenges. So you've got to be on these calls. You've got to pay attention because you have a chance to win some great prizes. This will not be the last challenge week. This is the first one, but there will be other challenge weeks. We're just not going to tell you when they are. So with that being said, I want to once again thank Mandy and Sami for all of the information that they provided today. Extremely valuable. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who is on the call. We appreciate you taking time out of your day, and we hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day.